because of you.
Well, hi there. Cindy Dole here, and this is Home Wizards, your radio home for all things home, garden, and life improvement. Happy Saturday to you. Happy weekend. We finally have our time for us, and I'm all about helping you find the ways to make those spaces you call home better, darn it. And that's why I'm so glad you're here with me, because we love talking about it, inside and outside, whether you live in a house or an apartment, or really no matter what your budget or your dreams are, how large or how small. I just love discovering the ideas and the solutions, and then just talking about it, and then being inspired to do something when I get back home, and hopefully you are as well. So here it is, Father's Day weekend. Yay to you dads. We're giving you special thumbs up and recognition throughout the show today. And I have to share that it was my dad, after all, in part with my mom, who got me so excited personally about wanting to do things around the house and then eventually developing this show. We talk about it. And I remember as a little girl, you know, he would do this thing he'd call putzing in the yard or tinkering in the garage. And I would always just love, with my eyes wide open, to learn from him. And then at the time, run errands multiple times throughout the day, like we still do to this day. But the big box store was good old Fedco for the supplies and the deals, or to our favorite garden center, you know the ones. And it was just so fun to cherish those moments and that passion and that fun for doing things. And that's what we love to share together here on the show. So keep the number handy. It is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. Whether you're a dad or not, we want to hear from you. And remember, too, that on my Facebook page, we have something very fun going on where we ask, what are you up to for your summer project? And I want you to go there and you upload a picture of what you were doing, whether it's something inside or outside, or you're stuck in the middle of it, we don't care. And then the person who gets the most likes on that photo, we're going to be gifting you a certificate from me to a certain home improvement store for getting some shopping done. So just go to Facebook /Cindy Dole, or /follow Cindy, I should say. And then when you're there, join the conversation, upload a picture, and good luck, because it just may be you. Facebook /follow Cindy. All right, coming up on the show today, you know, have you paid much attention to the lighting in your home? Lighting is so important. It's so easy to do to make a huge dramatic change. But have you really been thinking about the light bulbs? And I'm sure you've been hearing about the effort to change from the old-fashioned light bulbs that really are wasteful to the newer ones. But what should you really get? How much are you going to save in terms of energy costs? And what are they going to look like? And how will they make your home look after all? We're going to talk with some folks who are always on the cutting edge of lighting research and get smart, really, on those lighting discoveries. Then later, we're going to head to the garden. And I know a lot of you are thinking maybe once or twice about what to do with the lawn. Maybe you want to keep it. We've talked about ways to get rid of it, but if you do keep it, how to make it more vibrant, how to make it healthier, and maybe even do so without even using harsh chemicals and things like that. So we'll talk about that. And then, of course, take your gardening questions and find out ways and things to do to plant in the shade or keep succulents thriving with full sun. The list goes on. Then later in the second hour, it is all about you, Dad. We've got some great projects and gift ideas, whether you want to do something you want to create for Dad. I mean, you only have until tomorrow. But maybe you want to give your dad the gift of time to create a project together in the future. So a friend of ours from About.com has some very handy tips that I think you will love, and I promise are not going to be the stereotypical tie or any of that kind of stuff. Right, Dad? And then a little bit later still, we're going to find out, I'm sure you've dealt with this, things that break down around the house. You want to fix it yourself. Maybe you missed the part. You just don't have the courage or the knowledge. Well, we're going to talk with this website. It's a really, really neat one. And they've come up with all the different solutions, articles, and web videos on how to really instruct you how to fix the things that can go down, that can go wrong, whether it's an appliance or it's your lawnmower, you name it. And then to get the parts to make those living, breathing things live longer. So we're going to talk about that with this very veteran repairman. Again, the number is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. And remember, as you listen, you can go back and then hear again and download the shows on the website at cindydole.com. So let's get to my first guest. And the question is, who invented the light bulb? Most of us were taught it was Thomas Edison, but the truth is that maybe he improved upon it by somebody else, a guy 70 years earlier in England named Humphrey Davy. But then flash forward to today, and what's new with those lights after all?
When the lights go down in the city.
Well, joining me now is a woman who has spent a lot of time dealing with the lights in the city or in the country or anywhere. In fact, her job is all about basically making us smarter in terms of lighting. She has a background in physics, and she's going to help us. She works for GE, and she has really learned and has witnessed firsthand the evolution of the light bulb and lighting. So thanks for joining us, Mary Beth Gotti. Thanks for being here.
Well, you're very welcome, and greetings from sunny Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, so it is true that Thomas Edison wasn't the guy.
Well, Thomas Edison was the first one to invent the first practical incandescent lamp. And, with any technical innovation, there's people all over the world that are striving to get there first. So, there were people experimenting with the hot wire in a bottle before Edison, but he was the first one to get it to last 40 hours. We can all make a hot wire in a bottle or make a hot wire, even if we don't want to, right? But he was the one who really demonstrated it could be a practical source of light, that it could endure for more than a few seconds.
Wow. And so, and you, being someone who has studied physics, you must just be so excited about that whole process.
Well, lighting has always been fascinating to me. I mean, I've been in the lighting business since 1976, and you see the evolution of lighting, and you can't predict invention. And even today, LEDs, which clearly are one of the hot topics in lighting and leading, what we're calling the lighting revolution, but they were invented back, around 1962. So products keep improving. They get to the point where they can really get into applications where maybe they weren't really ready, decades before.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so here you are. You're the director of the Lighting Institute there, and it's a teaching facility.
We have 4,000 to 5,000 people a year that come to the Institute in Cleveland to get updated on lighting, whether it's commercial or residential types of applications or schools. I mean, you think, we all need light, whether
Right.
it's in our personal lives or our business lives or our school lives. So, and there's so many changes right now that we want to make sure that people understand the options.
All right.
And quantifying the benefits of some of those options.
Well, we are so appreciative of you being here to spell that out, because it is kind of confusing, I think, and especially when you say that the LED was invented in the 60s. How come we're just now barely even catching on with that?
Well, again, the first LEDs were red light-emitting diodes, and some of us remember some of the early calculators and watches where you needed to press buttons and you could see these digital displays. But it's interesting that the inventor of that, who was a researcher for GE at our research lab in Schenectady, New York, really had a vision that perhaps that LEDs could compete for general lighting at some point. So, again, a lot of patents, a lot of research to really come up with high-efficiency blue LEDs, which are making today's white LED systems possible.
And then you think of Christmas lighting. I mean, we've seen a lot of gorgeous LED. And again, LED stands for light-emitting diodes, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
And what exactly does that mean?
It's a semiconductor chip. So, you think of semiconductors. Now they've changed our computing world and just about everything that we do. Now you can take bits of these large wafers, and by using the right components, that the energy that's emitted is visible light. And
Mm-hmm.
in general, today's systems, they're blue LEDs, and we put a yellow phosphor on them that can create white light.
Mm. So how is the LED light bulb so much smarter, so much better, so much more of an energy saver than the light bulbs that we all grew up with from the past several decades?
Well, there's a number of light bulbs that are so much more efficient, but, compact fluorescent is a different way of generating light. A hot wire in a bottle, which is what we call incandescent lamps. Most of the output, when you pass current through a wire, about 90% is heat. About 10% is visible light. And so it was a very practical source of light. It had a great color quality, but the fact is you're wasting a lot of energy that's going into heat rather than visible light. Discharge lamps like fluorescent lamps, where you put a gas and a small amount of mercury in a tube, is a much more efficient way of generating light. And we use phosphors that can create very pleasant forms of visible white light. LEDs, there's no radiated heat, there's no radiated UV. It really is electronic transition. We heard back in school, gosh, you have electrons that drop from a higher energy level to a lower one and can emit energy. Well, here you're doing the same thing. You're taking a wafer, and you can take these electrons, and what they're emitting is visible light.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the materials and the phosphors we use, we can create very pleasant white light.
Well, I think for a lot of us who live in a home or in an apartment, we probably aren't thinking about how it works. We're thinking about just the fact that maybe it's prettier or maybe it's saving us money. And so when we come back, we want to talk about how green it is truly and the other things that are new, how lighting has evolved, what's stylish, and hopefully how the LED and everything else that's on the horizon is going to have a better color and just make us look better, because initially they didn't make us look so good, did they, Mary?
You're right.
All right, well, we're talking with one of the great lighting experts, and we'll have more information. Just don't go away. You're listening to Home Wizards, where we talk about all things home, garden, and life improvement. I'm Cindy Dole on KFWB News Talk 980. Welcome back. Cindy Dole here. Thanks for hanging out with me this Saturday. Home Wizards, where we love talking about all things home, garden, and life improvement, and that includes lighting. And with me, who better, is someone who has a background in lighting for decades. She studied physics, and now she's the director of the GE Lighting Institute in Ohio. Mary Beth Gotti, thanks for sharing part of your day with us, Mary. And so,
it's my pleasure.
As we just kind of think about it, if we were to walk down the aisle at our hardware store, the big box store, wherever, and you're seeing all these different options of light bulbs, I mean, how many options are there right now?
Well, there's still going to be standard incandescent bulbs.
Uh-huh.
Some of the most popular ones, like the what we call the A-line bulbs that we put into our table lamps for forever, starting in 2012, will start going away. There will be halogen, which is also an incandescent bulb. It's just a high-tech, a little more energy-efficient one. There will be fluorescents, and there will be LEDs. So those are the primary options for the home.
And so you said 2012, they're going away. What do you mean?
You look at the energy legislation, and California has actually been on the leading edge of that curve. But starting with the higher wattage bulbs, like the 100-watt bulb, followed by the 75 and the 60 and the 40 from 2012 through 2014, will start disappearing from the shelves. They don't meet energy efficient guidelines, and what you'll see in their place will be halogen bulbs, which will, for all intents and purposes, look and feel just like the incandescent bulb, but they'll be more efficient. So instead of a 100-watt, it'll be a 72-watt. And instead of a 40-watt, it'll be a 29-watt.
Oh, no. A whole different math to figure out. Will they have the three-way light bulb? Because I love those in our living room, where you have dim.
Three-way light bulbs will definitely still be there. There's even three-way compact fluorescents today. So, I think that if there's one thing, I just want to encourage people to be as high-tech about their lighting as they are about their TVs and their digital cameras and their computers. There's a lot of great technologies out there, and you're going to have an opportunity to pick and choose. You're not going to have to throw out any lighting fixtures. What you're going to put into them is going to be more energy efficient and give you more color options than ever before.
So what do you mean? What kind of colors?
Well, incandescent has very soft, warm glow, and you'll be able to get that with halogen. You may want something that's a crisper white, a somewhat cooler white, if you will, that can often enhance brightness perception. There are color-enhanced coatings that we can use that can really make colors pop. So, it's not the same old. You really can pick warm color tones, cool color tones, depending on your mood, depending on the activities that are conducted within that space. Whether I'm entertaining, whether the kids are doing homework, I can really start picking and choosing a color. So that's a big impact on the quality of light.
We want to set the mood for romance. We want the candlelight look.
That's right, and we'll be able to do that. That's no problem.
And so, besides the color aspect, which sounds so exciting, because I think that's been a turnoff for a lot of us for several years. What exactly is the energy savings? I mean, we go again to the store and we're trying to make some decisions. When we put that into our lighting fixture, I already know that we're not going to have to replace it for maybe a few years.
And again, if you're going to replace, like for the halogen products, they're typically 20-25% more efficient than standard incandescent bulbs. Not a huge change. Still a hot wire in a bottle. But when you start talking about compact fluorescents or LEDs, now you're talking about 4 times the efficiency of an incandescent bulb. So instead of that 100-watt bulb, you're going to be able to get down more into the 25, 26 watt range. So, you're clearly going to have some significant energy savings. I mean, depending on how you use lighting in your home, I mean, you got this one lighting fixture that's always on. It's going to have a lot bigger impact on your electric bill than one that's maybe only used occasionally, like a formal dining room, or perhaps you only use it for special occasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. And then, of course, the dimmer switches is always a great idea, too.
Controls are becoming a more and more important part of energy-saving strategies, and clearly they still are very valuable to set the mood, but, the most efficient light source is one that's off. Are there places we can put occupancy sensors, especially in kids' rooms when they don't want to shut the lights off? Dimming things down, which can reduce wattage when you don't need the high light level, depending on the activities that you're conducting at the time. So, really, it's all about choices. There's going to be a lot of great opportunities to get the look and the light that you need for, just about any application.
So have you guys done the math? I mean, if a typical homeowner changed all their light bulbs and spent a few extra dollars now up front, but on the back end, over the next few years, not only they would not have to buy new light bulbs, but in terms of their utility bills, they'd be saving a few bucks. Have you figured that part out?
I mean, it depends on, obviously how many sockets in the home and how you use your lighting. But, it's probably, the average homeowner could probably save at least $100 a year by going to a more energy-efficient lighting solution.
Okay.
And I think we need to think about the next step, because there's places we can use lighting, especially with some of these newer systems that you're going to start seeing, that you can put lighting in places where maybe it's difficult to put them before.
Like what?
Be a lot more user friendly. Some great under cabinet lighting using LEDs, for example. Or let's get some indirect lighting in the kitchen, and these low profile, long life, slim products can really start changing the way we apply light.
Mm-hmm. And then, in terms of what's new on the horizon, because after all, you guys are right there on the cutting edge at the Lighting Institute, you must be doing a lot of research and thinking, well, what will be the new light bulb? What will be the new thing?
Well, LEDs have a long way to go. They're just now getting into to general lighting types of applications. So it's really tip of the iceberg as to what you're going to see with new LED products. But again, you can't predict invention. And is there going to be another light source technology that can really come to the forefront? But LEDs are clearly our key focus right now.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys have a few new things going on. There's the 3-bulb-in-1 that's kind of a halogen Cfl with incandescent. What is that all about?
Great product. I was so impressed with that. Again, you think of CFLs, and I know many of your listeners, they've had some complaints that CFLs don't warm up quickly enough, especially when you put them in some of these more decorative shapes, or you put the spiral inside another bulb, and you turn the switch on, and the light comes on right away, but it's dim. Mm-hmm. This hybrid technology really allows you to put that little halogen capsule right in there with the spiral compact fluorescent, so you get instant light. And then after about 1 minute, it pops off, so that you get the energy savings, but you get the impact of full brightness. So again, it's listening to what everyone is saying. This is what we don't like about these energy saving technologies. Well, what can we do to make it better?
Cool. And then there's another one that's also new that you have. It's a kind of it's an energy efficient Valentine that you had come out this past spring.
That's the hot wire in a bottle that's going to meet all these energy standards. So this should make everybody feel better. Let's not hoard incandescent bulbs. These halogen products, which can meet energy legislation, will look and feel just like your incandescent bulbs. You like the color, you like the easy dimming. These halogen bulbs will fit the bill in any of your applications.
Okay. And then when it comes to having an Energy Star rating, is that something that's going to be, is it happening currently, light bulbs that get the Energy Star rating?
Energy Star is very important. It really sets the bar for performance. It ensures that products meet standards for light output and life, and really is a way to ensure that customers are getting what they're paying for. And so we're fully supportive and have a full range of Energy Star products across the board. And really it's just a symbol of quality that's built into the design of the product.
Okay. Well, you guys have so much going on. I mean, it really is intriguing, and I'm guessing in your home you must have an incredible lighting system.
Well, I keep changing it. And as the technology evolves, you have to rethink, and there's all new opportunities here. So I definitely have some new under-cabinet lighting that's going to get put in soon, because the LED solutions are just wonderful. It's amazing. We invest in granite, and then all of a sudden you see some lighting that can really bring it to life. So,
and what should we do with the old light bulbs? What's the best way to get rid of them?
Well, of course, incandescent bulbs typically we've just thrown out in the trash. But we're trying to recycle everything. Clearly, in the case of fluorescents, recycling is clearly recommended. But let's recycle. We recycle paper and paints and everything else. Let's recycle light bulbs and find out in our communities the best way to do that.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Mary Beth Gotti with the GE Lighting Institute in Ohio. Fun learning about it. I feel a little smarter. You definitely shed some light on this for us. So we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for helping us as we make that trip down the aisle of all those light bulbs.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, you got it. Coming up next, we're going to head to the garden and talk about some ways to help that lawn of yours look and thrive a little bit more, look better, and just be happier overall. And then just kind of get some more garden inspiration for the spring and summer months ahead of us. And then in the second hour, it's all about Dad. We got some great ideas to give to your dad. Home wizard Cindy Dole. We're back right after this.